Alright, so I'm going to go through a couple of graphing questions because a lot of us are having issues with graphing, and that's okay, so I'm going to walk you through it. So this one I already did already, so this is number 12 from 3.1. Of course, your number 12 is going to look a little different than mine, but it's going to be done the same way. So this is not linear because it's x squared. Remember, linear is only x, y. So now, since I don't know how to graph it, I use a t-chart. So here's the t-chart. Let me zoom in a little bit. So here's my t-chart. I plugged in, I always use the points -1, 0, 1, and we want multiple points because we want the shape of the graph. So I plugged them in each time. You can go ahead and pause the video and look that over, but we get our points -1, 8, 0, 7, and 1, 8. So here I need to compare the graphs. So going back to our homework, I look at this graph, that's a line. This isn't linear, so I know that's not it. It's not B because that's a line, that's not it. So I'm looking at C and D. You can hit this little magnifying glass to look at the points. So our points were -1, 8, 0, 7, and 1, 8. So I'm going to look for 0, 7. That is not 0, 7. That's negative. But if I look at this one, that's 0, 7 because that's positive, so it is D. Alright, number 13, real similar. It's not linear because it's absolute value. Absolute value creates a V shape. It looks like a V when you graph it. So here are the points that I found for our absolute value. I use -1, 0, and 1, so I plug them in. You can pause the video and see how I plug them in. And we get our points -1, 6, 0, 5, and 1, 4. So I'm going to look for 0, 5 on the graph. The reason why I picked the middle one, I don't know, I just do. That's just me. I always pick the intercept. So I look here. That's 0, 5. Yeah, that's 0, 5. So I need to see another point. So another point would be 1, 4. So 1, 4 is right here. See my mouse? See how the graph isn't there? So I know it's not A. It's not B because I need 0, 5. There is no 0, 5 here. I know it's not D because D is a line, and also there's no 0, 5. So I'm looking at C. Okay, so C has 0, 5, and C also has 1, 4. So C, or excuse me, not 1, 4. It does, sorry. 1, 4. So it is C. Alright, so number 17. We have to use the perimeter y of a rectangle whose width is a constant 4 inches and whose length is x inches, and it's given by the equation y equals 2x plus 8. So we're going to draw a graph of this equation in the first quadrant only. So I'm going to hit click to enlarge graph. So my start, my y-intercept is 0, 8. So I'm going to hit the line tool and go to 0, 8. You see the top right corner? The top right corner where it says 0, 8? It's in yellow, that's where I'm going to put it. Now my slope is 2, so I'm going to go up 2, right 1. And there's my graph. You only need 2 points to graph on my MATLAB, but when you're doing it by hand, definitely do 3 points, and I'm going to hit save. So definitely re-watch that one if you have to. And again, I'm only going over the graphing, so I'm not going to go over part B. Alright, so we have to graph this using x and y-intercepts. So I did that, and all we do is just make x and y 0 for our intercepts. But let's actually see that done. So I plug in my intercepts. I get x-intercept, so y equals 0, and I get -1, 0, and then my y-intercept, x is 0, and I get 0, 1 for my y-intercept. You can pause this and look that over, but let's go ahead and graph this. So we're going to graph using the line tool, and I'm going to plot the point. So -1, 0, so -1, 0, and then my other point is 0, 1. So 2 points, save it, all good. Type the function using function notation, that's y equals mx plus b, but instead of y, you just use f of x. So get y by itself and then put it in there. Alright, so we're going to graph a special line. This is a special line. So still using my line tool, I'm going to go to where x is -2. And then I have to do one more point, so either just go up or go down, but stay on a flat line. You want to stay you want to stay with the vertical line because it's x equals. Alright, this is a special one, so we have -7/2. Now, what I do, because this is a special line, it's y equals a number, there's no mx or b, so what I do is just use my calculator, and I do 7/2, so it would be -3.5. So I'm going to use -3.5 for this one. So I hit my line tool, I'm going to go to where y is -3.5, and you see on the right corner how it says 0, -3.5, and then I'm going to go to either left or to the right because you want to keep a horizontal line. And then there we go. Alright, now we have to graph the linear function, and we're going to have to do this using slope-intercept form. So it's using y equals mx plus b. So my first point is 0, 1, because that's the y-intercept. And then I'm going to go up 3, so 1, 2, 3, right 5. Let's do another one of that. So I hit my line tool, and I do not have a y-intercept, so it's 0, 0, and then it's -2, so -2/1, I'm going to go down 2, right 1. Or you can go up 2, left 1. Both are fine. Alright, so hopefully this helps you graph a little better now that you saw how I did it. Definitely watch it a few times if you have to, and if you still have questions, just let me know.